In this video, we'll compare two versatile self-emptying robot vacuums, the Ecovacs X2 Omni and the Roborock S8 Pro Ultra. Both options have do-it-all base stations that does two essential tasks: empty the robot's dustbin and wash the pads. So these robot vacuums can be autonomous for weeks. However, there are differences that will be huge deciding factors, and we'll look at these and more in this video to help you make an informed choice. I've put these products through a grueling series of tests to find out which alternative is better. So let's get into it. First, let's go through the features, starting with the base station. One similarity with the X2 Omni and S8 Pro Ultra is the all-around functionality of their base stations. Both have clean and dirty water tanks for the pad washing feature to separate clean and dirty water. There are slight variances in water tank capacity, with the Ecovacs X2 Omni having larger containers than the S8 Pro Ultra. Another difference is the bag placement. The Ecovacs X2 Omni bag is in the middle, underneath the water containers, while the S8 Pro Ultra bag is beside the water tanks. The X2 Omni bag has a slightly larger capacity of 3 liters, or 0.5 liters more than the S8 Pro Ultra. At the base are the pad washing modules, which are vastly different. Ecovacs uses a plastic tray with these ribbed components where the pads scrub against, while the S8 Pro uses a sliding rotating brush moving back and forth to clean the pad. One feature that Ecovacs has absent in the S8 Pro Ultra is the hot water cycle, which helps dissolve dirt and disinfect the pads. This feature isn't available in the S8 Pro Ultra, but is available in newer releases like the Q-Revo Max V. The self-emptying ports also vary. The Ecovacs port is connected to a slot behind the robot, while the Roborock base station vacuums debris out through the brush roll toward a slot on the ramp. Lastly, we'll examine the size difference of the base station. The Ecovacs base station is slightly narrower, measuring 15.5 inches wide, around an inch less than the S8 Pro Ultra's 16.6-inch width. However, the Ecovacs base station is taller, measuring 20.5 inches, a few inches more than the Roborock S8 Pro base station at 17.8 inches. Next, we'll look at robot vacuum design, and you'll see one obvious difference: the shape. The Ecovacs X2 Omni has a squarish frame aimed at improving edge cleaning performance, while the Roborock S8 Pro Ultra uses a round frame. There are pros and cons to each design. A square-shaped robot will perform better at cleaning the edges, but is at a higher risk of getting wedged in tight spots. In comparison, a round-shaped robot may not be as efficient at cleaning edges, but there's almost zero risk of it getting stuck. Another difference is the top cover. The X2 Omni cover just sits on top, held by 3 magnetic pins, while Roborock's cover has hinges, so it opens and closes easily and doesn't come off. One downside with Ecovacs' design is the cover can be knocked off center if it hits an overhang. Dustbin capacity is nearly the same, with a slight advantage to Ecovacs, but this shouldn't be a deciding factor with the self-emptying feature. Both have a built-in water tank, enabling these robots to mop a larger area without returning to the base station. Another thing to consider is the mopping systems, where differences may sway your decision. Again, each design has its pros and cons. The X2 Omni uses 2 rotating discs, while the S8 Pro Ultra has 1 pad with 2 vibrating elements. The S8 Pro design is more efficient at mopping juice stains, needing only 1 pass to remove everything, whereas the X2 Omni needed 2 passes. However, the Ecovacs system is cheaper to use in the long run since there's nothing to replace, which isn't the case for the S8 Pro Ultra since you'll need to replace this brush once it wears out. Both have the pad lift feature, where the pad lifts when it detects carpet. Ecovacs has a higher pad lift at 15mm, which is 3 times higher than the S8 Pro Ultra's 5mm lift. Unfortunately, no matter how high the lift, these pads will touch the surface of any rug or carpet. Only the S8 Pro Ultra has the brush lift feature, where the brush assembly goes up during the mopping only cycle. This prevents it from scraping residue. The X2 Omni does not have this feature, but I didn't see any residue sticking on the brush guard after the mopping experiments. While both options use lidar, there are differences in placement, which again will be a deciding factor. The X2 Omni uses an integrated dual lidar embedded in the front bumper, while the S8 Pro Ultra uses a top-mounted version. One plus with Ecovacs' embedded lidar is it has a flat surface since there's nothing protruding on top. However, since engineers had to cram the motor, water tank, dustbin, and mopping module, it has a thick body, measuring 3.74 inches, only 0.06 inches less than the S8 Pro Ultra, negating this advantage. Their navigation is similar, starting the run by cleaning the edges before moving toward the middle areas in a back and forth pattern. But the similarity ends there. The X2 Omni only does one edge cleaning run, while the S8 Pro Ultra alternates between edge cleaning and the default cycle, giving it better thoroughness, especially at the edges. So while the X2 Omni finished the coverage tests a few minutes faster than the S8 Pro Ultra, it picked up less debris. Another advantage of the top-mounted LiDAR is its 360-degree scanning, giving it better precision since the laser fires in all directions. I used both in an enclosed area for the cleaning experiments. And the X2 Omni had issues during the initial area scanning, pushing against this barrier, while the S8 Pro Ultra did not have this issue. There were instances when the X2 Omni failed to initialize and return to the dock. The S8 Pro Ultra did not have this issue since the top-mounted LiDAR was better at identifying the area during the initial scan. Again, these are quirks from the front-mounted LiDAR that Ecovacs need to fix. Both have obstacle avoidance sensors. The X2 Omni uses the dual LiDAR and twin-lens camera to evade objects, while the S8 Pro Ultra uses an IR sensor with two lasers flanking it. While both can avoid obstacles, the S8 Pro Ultra is more consistent and evades footwear, pet feces, weighing scale, and coiled wires at a higher percentage than the X2 Omni. One reason is its algorithm that doesn't let the robot get too close. The X2 Omni was more inconsistent. There were instances where it touched obstacles like this wire and it tried to climb this weighing scale, which wasn't the case for the S8 Pro Ultra. Another difference is the brush roll design. While both use an all-rubber roller with straight fins, the X2 Omni version is wider, but the S8 Pro Ultra has two rollers, giving it more agitation and better pickup on carpets, despite the low airflow. One advantage for the X2 Omni is its higher airflow, maxing at over 24 CFM, more than doubling the S8 Pro Ultra output at only 11 CFM. The higher airflow manifests itself in the hard floor cleaning experiments, where the X2 Omni got a higher average. However, there's a higher variance in carpet cleaning performance, which is significant in the deep cleaning experiments. So it's another trade-off to consider between these robots. Both were subpar at cleaning hair, picking up less than 50% with 5-inch hair and in the low 20s with 7-inch strands. Here's how the brushes look after the cleaning tests. You'll see strands wrapping on the axles and roller, and it was worse for Ecovacs. Despite the high airflow, the Ecovacs X2 Omni is the quieter robot, only maxing at 67 decibels in the max setting, while the S8 Pro Ultra reached 70 decibels. Lastly, we'll look at the app features, mainly the key differences. Consumers can download the app by scanning the QR code on the robot. Both have the live map, mapping run, containment, and map saving, which is basically the must-have features for any premium do-it-all robot vacuum. However, there are some differences. One is cleaning modes. The Ecovacs app has 4 different options: vacuum only, mop only, vacuum plus mop, and vacuum then mop. The Roborock app only has 3 options: vacuum only, mop only, or vacuum plus mop. One advantage of the Roborock app is it accurately identifies obstacles thanks to the infrared sensor in front. It shows the different icons of the common household items stored in its database. The Ecovacs app doesn't have this feature even with the camera sensor, but it has a surveillance feature, so the consumer sees what the robot sees during the cleaning run. This feature is integrated within the main interface, so it's easily accessible. While both have map saving, the Roborock app can save 4, which is 1 more than the Ecovacs app. But this is a non-factor for me since most consumers won't bother moving these around with their massive base stations. Choosing between the Ecovacs X2 Omni and Roborock S8 Pro Ultra will depend on the features you'll prioritize and your budget. The Roborock S8 Pro Ultra is the more expensive option since it uses a more complex pad cleaning and mopping module. Its twin brush roll system will pick up more debris on carpet than the X2 Omni. However, the low airflow hampers its debris pickup on hard floors, which is where the X2 Omni excelled. While the S8 Pro Ultra was more efficient at mopping juice stains, the X2 Omni is better at keeping the pads clean, thanks to its hot water washing cycle that disinfects the pads. Also, there are 0 maintenance costs since there's nothing to replace, unlike the S8 Pro where you'll need to replace the brush when it wears out. Let me know if you have questions about these products down below or which option you'd choose. Like, subscribe if this video has been helpful, and I'll see you in the next video.